All right, listen, if you're in your early to mid 20s, life can feel very frustrating. I've been there, right? You feel like you're financially struggling. Maybe you have basically no money. You don't have a career you like. Your body doesn't look the way you want. You haven't really figured out your look. Women aren't interested in you. Your mind feels like it's just a bunch of emotional turmoil and stress. The world feels incredibly frustrating. But I'm here to tell you that once you hit your late 20s, if you played your cards right in your early to mid 20s, life becomes incredibly great. Seriously, I'm 28 years old and it's just like my life. Obviously, I haven't achieved all of my goals, but it's just like my life is basically what I want it to be every day. And life is just so much better than I remember it being in my early and mid 20s. And in this video, we're going to talk about some of the benefits that you can expect in your late 20s as long as you did the work in your early to mid 20s. And then I'm going to tell you some of the things that I did right that allowed me to put myself in a position where I'm doing great in my career. I'm in fantastic shape. I'm doing better with women than ever. And my mindset is in this place where I just genuinely feel good about life. I'm not stressed. I can handle challenges really well without letting them crash me out and things like that. All right, guys, we are back with another presentation style video. It's been like 2 or 3 weeks, I think, since I made one of these things. I've been out sick for the past few days. I still kind of feel like shit a little bit, but we're going to push through. We're going to make this. I think this is going to be a really good video for you. The following are all benefits you can expect in your late 20s if you play your cards right in your early and mid 20s. The first one, the strength and size bump. So at 28 years old, this is my physique, and this is what inspired this video. So I've been training forever, but today it really occurred to me. So like I said, I've been sick for the past few days, and today was the first day where I was like feeling like pretty good, and I was like, all right, we're gonna go get back in the gym today. I go in there, it was chest and back day, and I'm like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna bench. And so I go down and I bench, and I put 225 on the bar, and I just throw it for 12 reps. And like I realistically could have probably gotten 16 if I'd had a spot, or like I just flew right through it. And I got done with that set. And I was just like, yo, I don't even feel that good. And I just fucking tossed this shit. And I'm obviously a pretty strong guy, but it just really just clicked in my head. I was like, this shit used to would have been so much harder for me. And it's not like I even train that hard anymore. I'm pretty happy with how I look. So I don't really go in there and just try and fucking blast it and put on a bunch more muscle and anything. So like I've basically been in kind of a stasis mode when it comes to my physique for a while. And I was just like, man, like I am just way fucking stronger naturally than I used to be. And it's also like I'm bigger. So like going back to these pictures right here on screen, like this is my physique right here. Like it's just what I want to point out about it in the beach pic is the density of the muscle. This is something that I've really noticed that happens in your late 20s. It's like the muscle density is there. Like my abs just look crazy thick. My fucking biceps are thick. And it's not just like muscle, it's just like dense fucking muscle. Like it's this thing, like I've gotten more vascular. My physique just looks better naturally. And I think what happens is like when you get into your late 20s, your body just hardens up. It's just like you start getting this man look about you. And so your physique just naturally looks more like fucking strong and masculine and more aesthetic and all that stuff. You just look like a fucking beast, realistically, as long as you did the training. And here's another example of this right here. LeBron James at 24 years old on the left there and 28 on the right. He's maybe a little bit bigger, but the big difference is muscle density. He just looks way fucking thicker, right? Like his muscle just looks dense. You can tell the guy on the right is way stronger than the guy on the left. And it's not because his biceps a little bit bigger. It's his body is just denser. His muscle is stronger, right? And that was back in the Miami Heat era. For those of you who watched basketball at the time, LeBron James was just a fucking bulldozer. He just wrecked everybody. It was just like you get to this point and it's like it's known in athletics. Like everybody knows for most athletes, their prime is like 28 to 34. And it's just your body is dense as fuck. Your mind is sharp. It's really a peak. And this is what I'm trying to tell you guys. Like your late 20s is fucking insane. Like seriously, like again, I have not achieved all my goals by any stretch. I don't really think I'll ever achieve all of my goals, but I'm in a place where I'm just like, this shit is just way fucking better than it was. And I hope that motivates you guys seriously, because I just remember my early 20s feeling like just an absolute slog. It's just tough. It feels like every other thing going on in your life is just a mess. you get to this point where it's just like it starts taking care of itself. Your physique just naturally is better. Your mind is sharper. We'll get into all that stuff. But this was the one that really made it glaringly obvious to me just how, like, your 20s, your late 20s are just fucking sick. Like, your physique is just naturally built. Like, you just get a bump. I would say genuinely my strength went up like 10, 15% with really nothing else changing other than my age. I'm serious. Like, and I've talked to guys about this, like friends of mine who, they train and things like that. And I'll just be like, yo, like, it's crazy. Like, now that I've hit my late 20s, just having this happen. And they're like, yeah, I know. Like, I've got like 26-year-old friends saying the same thing. Like, that was kind of when I started noticing. It was probably like 26, early 27 years old is when I started noticing my physique really just like getting more vascular. Like, my veins would pop more, my muscles looked denser. It was like suddenly I could just curl more, I could squat more, I just had more torque to my body. Like, I just had a lot of power in it. It's really weird, but you'll notice it as long as you do the work. The second big benefit is people want to be your friend in your late 20s. So these two guys right here, one of these guys, let's say he's like 22, the other one looks like he's probably like 28, 29. Like, the reaction you get from people is so much different in your late 20s. I remember being in my early 20s and, I've been like moderately mature for the most part. I've always been a bit more mature for my age than average, but even at 22, it's like full grown adults don't really want to be your friend at 22. They just don't, because you don't have much to add to people. Really, you just don't. You don't have skills. Your mind hasn't really developed that much. You're not very mature yet. And so, like, people don't really want to be your friend. And this is why I think the world feels kind of isolating and hostile to young men, is because the world just doesn't see much value in you. And it's a harsh fucking pill, but just understanding, like, throughout human history, young men have been cannon fodder on battlefields. It's a fucking harsh truth, guys. Like, we protect women naturally, we protect children naturally, but for men, it's like basically it's survival of the fittest in a lot of ways. Right now, in the modern world where we're not constantly at war and things like that, and you can live more of a normal life, it pans out a bit different, right? Where you've got, nowadays you've got more like kind of incel guys who can't get any girls no matter how old they are. Then you've got the guys who kind of like wife up some unattractive woman in their late 20s or something like that. And then you've got survival of the fittest, where the top guys really just level the fuck up in their early 20s and mid 20s, and then they just become the next level of like top level men pretty much. And that's kind of how survival of the fittest plays out in the modern world. But it's the same kind of dynamic where in your early 20s, you are just not worth anything. And I don't mean that on an intrinsic level. Like, I do believe we're all made in the image of God, and you have intrinsic worth as a human being. So I want you to, respect yourself in that way. So this is purely from a social perspective. From a social perspective, in your early 20s, you just don't bring much to the table. Like, most of the time, in my early 20s, like, I was trying to figure out how to build businesses and I didn't really know how to build them yet. And like, basically the only jobs I could get were manual labor jobs, right? Like, I would go move cabinets, or I would pressure wash a house, or I would cut grass. It's like all you really have at your disposal is your body. And so this is like most men end up like, this is again why you end up being cannon fodder on a battlefield, is because they're like, well, this fucking private at 18 years old or whatever, he doesn't know how to lead an army. So the only thing we can do with him is put him in the fucking infantry and just have him charge at the fucking opponent, at the enemy, right? That's really all you're good for at this point, because you just haven't developed yourself. But as you hit your late 20s, you have skills, you've put something together in your career, you figured some shit out, you're fully developed a lot more, you're far more mature. Like, people want to be your friend. They view you as like an equal. They view you as an adult. And if you did your shit right, they're going to view you as like top fucking level. And they want to be your friend, not only because you're just like an adult, but because you're somebody who can actually add benefit to their life. And now you're the one in the power position there. You see how that works? It's not about age. It's about competency and maturity. But the thing is, to get competency and maturity just takes time. Now, if you're 14 years old and you start building a fucking business, and by the time you're 21, 22 years old, you've figured out how to get rich as fuck, Yeah, everybody's going to want to be your friend. I know a couple people like this who were like working on e-com businesses at like 14 years old and now they're multimillionaires in their 20s. And it's like, yeah, everybody wants to be that guy's friend, right? But for most of you guys, including myself, you didn't really start on this shit until probably at best 18. For me, it was like 20. And so, like, at 20 years old, 22 years old, 24 years old, people just don't really see that much value in you. Like, by the time I got to about 24, I had put in enough work because I was really locked in that people were starting to see me kind of as like a rising prospect, like a rising star potential. Like I had that kind of thing where I was clearly like elevating myself above the rest of the people who weren't doing anything, but it's still in its incipiency, right? Like you're still not going to get that many opportunities. It's like you get the opportunity to do like some sort of special project or you're a supervisor in your job and things like that, right? Where like they trust you to be like a leader in certain situations, things like that start opening up, but it's still like not much, right? Like some 40-year-old guy is just not going to want to be your friend. And you might not even care about that right now, but it is valuable in the business world to have a lot of connections who, guys in their 30s and 40s who've put shit together. It's like now I can be these guys' friends because I have some level of skill and ability and maturity that allows me to be on a certain comparable level to these kinds of people. And this is a big benefit that comes in your late 20s. It makes you feel like you have some worth to society. Again, like I said, really important that you understand that intrinsically you do have value. I'm not trying to tell you you don't have value, but you do need to also just look at it objectively and understand that like from like a character perspective, like imagine you were a character in a video game. Your character just doesn't have much to it yet. And so other characters in this video game just don't see any value in your character. Just view it that way. You intrinsically as a person has value. Your character does not have value yet. But as you hit your late 20s, if you did the work, your character starts to have value. Number 3, life gets easier. This is kind of just like a general point about all of this, but really what I wanted to talk about here is really that life is really staying the same, but you just get better at life. You have life and career skills that allow money to come to you much easier and you can handle problems much easier. It's just like shit that just crashes you out in your early and mid 20s just doesn't crash you out anymore. And it's like you go from this point where like I remember this hitting me probably late last year, honestly. It hit me. I was just like, oh, like I really should never be broke again. Like it just hit me like that. Whereas like for my entire early to mid 20s, it felt like I was constantly afraid of going broke or I was broke a lot of times. And then it just hit me. I was like, I shouldn't be broke anymore. Like I have a lot of skills. I have friends. I have connections. I know how to do shit. I should never be broke again, right? As long as I'm just not an idiot with my money, I should never be broke again. And it's like, even I'll look at like different job opportunities. It's like back in the day, it was like I would have been like dying to get a $15 an hour job. Now it's like I wouldn't even consider a $15 an hour job. And it's just because I've gotten better. Again, my character has improved and now new opportunities open up for me. Life gets easier. Money's coming in much easier. You just understand how to play this game a lot better, like navigate it without getting screwed over just because you've been around long enough to learn certain lessons. Next one, maturity. Maturity makes life a lot more calm. This is one that I've been really trying to talk about this kind of stuff recently because nobody on the internet is talking to you guys about this because everybody just wants to sell you the whole like getting bitches and like making 10K per month through an online business thing. And I'm trying to help you guys actually grow and develop as men here. Maturity is like seriously underrated as like a thing because most of your role models aren't very mature, right? Like they're just like the Hamzas and all these kind of people. Like Hamza might be coming around, but like most of these guys are just obsessed with like pussy. Like that's all they really talk about. Like it's just kind of immature. And I'm not saying maturity means like you're married with kids. That's not necessarily maturity. There's a lot of man children out there with kids and like their wife kind of dominates them. But maturity is really essentially you drop your young male ego. That's really how I would describe it. So like one thing I've noticed as I hit my late 20s is I am distinctly different from men in their early and even mid 20s at this point. Like I'm just distinctly in a different class and it's just about maturity for the most part. A lot of it is yeah, like I've put in the work and improved myself, but it's really just a maturity thing where like I'll look at guys in their early 20s and it's like it's shit that I used to do. It's just the fucking puffing your chest out thing. Every fucking young man is doing this shit. Like he's just young men, you all have fucking egos. And it's just like it's okay. That's just how it is. But like it's this thing that you notice once you get older and you kind of drop that shit. And you look around, you're like, this is all just a bunch of bullshit. Like all this fucking young male ego, like puffing out the chest, all the shit talk, all the fucking stuff that young guys do. It's just a lot of crap, and it makes your life a lot more dramatic than it really needs to be, a lot more frustrating, a lot more conflicting. You're always like feeling offended and threatened by other guys and shit like that. Some other man's success is bothering you. It's just all that kind of stuff. You're insecure constantly because you don't feel like you're good enough and all this stuff. And so like it's just this whole dynamic you're in. And then you hit this point where it just you kind of stop with the shit and you actually become mature, and life just becomes way more calm. You stop feeling the need to puff out your chest. There are two types of young men: the ones who puff out their chest and the ones who are too scared to puff out their chest. Because I know I'm going to get a lot of you guys out there, oh, yeah, like I don't puff out my chest. I'm not like an egomaniac. It's like the reason you're not an egomaniac is because you're too scared to be an egomaniac. I'm telling you, I've never met a guy from like 18 to 25 who was actually really secure with himself. It's either you are puffing your chest out with all this bravado and man shit, and I'm the fucking man, like look at me, like this ego thing, or you're too scared to do that. It's never that you're actually really good with yourself. I'm telling you, I've never found this. And like I said, it's okay. I was in that same boat. I see the guys doing this shit. Like it's just that young male thing, like where they're just always just trying to like hype themselves up. Look at me, like all the flexes, Andrew Tate kind of shit, like the Andrew Tate dick rider kind of energy and all that stuff. Like it's that stuff. Or they're just kind of insecure because they haven't done anything and they would like to puff their chest out, but really they're not confident enough to do it. And it's just like most men, I mean, literally all young men are in one of these buckets. And what happens is you just mature out of it and you just stop with that shit, and life's just way more calm. People want to be your friends because, again, this is part of the reason people don't want to be friends with young men. It's just kind of annoying because you just do not have enough sense of security in yourself. And a lot of that comes down to society, again, not giving you any value as a young man. And so you feel this insecurity. And so you feel this need to puff your chest out, or you feel this sense of retreat from life because you lack that confidence. And in either of those dynamics, it's driven by the fact that society isn't giving you value. So you're trying to puff yourself up. But eventually you get to this point where you recognize your own self-worth. And so you can just stop all that shit. Like, I just don't need to puff my chest out anymore, realistically. I just think that's kind of silly. It's stupid, honestly. And people don't want to be friends with you when you act like that because you're just insecure. And, like, they can't have a really solid relationship with you because you're in that headspace. And so maturity makes your life way better. It's no more of the comparison games. It's none of that kind of shit. You're just good with yourself, genuinely. And this is just a huge benefit of your late 20s. By my late 20s, I've stopped feeling the need to do this puffing out my chest thing. Maturity makes you comfortable in your own skin. You realize that being better than other people isn't a mark of self-worth. That's where it's like everybody's in this thing. Like I remember I used to hear about it was like the dominance hierarchy. Everybody's trying to climb up the hierarchy, or you'll hear it from like high value man, terms like that. Terms like high value man, terms like the dominance hierarchy, terms like high status, terms like 1% man. These are all, and again, I use them sometimes because like you kind of need a moniker for something. You need to describe something in some way. And that's just kind of an easy way to mark things. But you kind of get to this point where you just don't really view it that way anymore. And it's just like all of that shit is kind of driven by the fact that you want to do better than other people because you don't feel really good about yourself yet. And once you get good with yourself, like I really don't care if I'm a high value man. Objectively speaking, I am, but I just don't really care. I'm like, I don't really judge it that way with people anymore. And you stop comparing it in that kind of context. You just kind of are like on your path. And if you like somebody, you like them. If you don't like them, you don't like them. It's none of this fucking comparison game. It's none of this I got to be better than everybody thing. You're just on your own race. And that's really what maturity is all about. And it's a way fucking better way to live than the young male ego game. So as you hit your late 20s, if you've done the work on yourself, you're going to find some value in yourself. And you're going to get to this point where you just feel good in your own skin and you stop needing to do any of this comparison shit. This allows you to be a lot more confident and friendly with people. You don't feel hostile and threatened and worried about what other people are thinking about you. You're in this space where it's like, I feel good about me, so I'll just talk to this person and like, that's cool, right? I don't really give a fuck. You know what I mean? Whereas when you're in your early to mid 20s, you're just like kind of threatened by people, even when you have social skills in your early to mid 20s as a guy, because guys will go learn game or they'll learn social skills. It's all like they're learning it so that they can position themselves as high status. Because it's still about doing better than other people because they want to puff themselves up. It's just this game, and eventually you just realize like to drop the whole fucking game. the whole thing is stupid and you just learn to drop it eventually. But it comes from self-worth that you have to develop by building yourself as a man. Number 5, your stress tolerance goes way up by the time you hit your late 20s. Shit that would have crashed me out in my early 20s just isn't a big deal to me anymore. Now, this is less about age and more about time spent in challenging situations. So I wanted to tell you guys a story about honestly one of the more I guess I would say shameful things I've done in my life. I don't view it as like it's not like truly shameful, I guess, but it's something I regret. And when I was 21 years old, I had gotten recently dumped and cheated on. I had a lot of my friends turn their back on me, talk shit about me. It's really just stabbed me in the back. It was really like a few of them I was really disappointed in. That really hurt me. My career had basically fallen apart. And I was in this spot where I had to move back in with my parents, and I just felt like an abject failure. And I remember that I had to get a job. And so I go, and my cousin owns a painting and pressure washing company. And so he told me I could come work for his painting and pressure washing company. And so I go up there the first day. This is like literally this is like a week after getting dumped and cheated on. So like my state of mind was just god awful at this point. I felt like an absolute failure. It was like the lowest point of my life. Just everything in my life had fallen apart. I felt humiliated, ashamed of myself, all that shit. And I have to go work this job. And also keep in mind, this ex-girl of mine at the time is like she might have been lying, but at the time I didn't know she was lying. She's talking to me about how she's like moving to Chicago from where she lived and how she's got this like new job, this like super high paying job. I feel like she was saying this shit just trying to get one over on me, honestly, when I look back on it. But at the time I was like, damn, this like I went from having a promising career, friends, and a girl to getting cheated on, broke, living with my parents, all my friends talking shit about me. And now I'm about to go make $16 an hour pressure washing a house while this girl that I was talking to apparently just upgraded her dude and now she's on pace to go get some sales job making like 400K per year. And I was like hot, like I felt so fucking down bad. Like it was the worst I felt. And I go to do this job with my cousin and I go pressure wash this house for the first day. And I literally just like quit. Like I told the cousin, I was like, I cannot do this. Like I'm like, thank you for the opportunity. I can't do this. And I remember he paid me for the day. And I just felt so fucking embarrassed of myself when I look back on this. Like I just literally just quit the job. I was like, I can't do this. Like I was such an emotional wreck from this situation. Like I felt so fucking down bad. Like I just could not do it. And it was just like, I look back on it now and it's like, I did the best I could realistically under the situation. Like but like I do look back on it, I'm like, fuck, like I really regret how I handled that. And I tell you this story just because this is the shit that just like now, if all this happened, like I would have looked on this a lot differently. One, I would have known the girl was probably bullshitting me about her new opportunities in life. Two, I would have handled the situation a lot better as far as like my emotions. I wouldn't have felt so much like everybody was judging me for my failures. I would have been like, okay, shit happens, right? It wouldn't have been that big of a deal because I failed enough at this point and succeeded enough and also figured out that nobody really gives a fuck what you're doing with your life anyways. So it doesn't even matter if you fail. They're not judging you the way you think you're being judged. I wouldn't have had all this like weight on myself and all this like inability to manage this level of stress. And I would have handled it much better. And I probably would have been an asset to my cousin's company. I would have helped him out. And I just remember going into that situation having such an ego, like I was like better than this job. I remember like I'm better than having to do this. This is bullshit. When in reality, I wasn't even good enough for the job. I couldn't even fucking handle it. You know what I mean? And just like that bugs me even to this day a bit. Like I wish I'd handled that better. But it's just my point with telling you this story is just like as you get into your late 20s, shit that is stressing you the fuck out right now that feels like such a big deal, like you will just handle it way better. At this point, I have gone homeless for periods of my life. I have had my career in doubt, in jeopardy multiple times. I've failed at a ton of different businesses. I've had girls that I was talking to I thought it would work out with, it didn't work out with. I've had all kinds of shit happen. I got a new job right when COVID happened and I got fired because of COVID and I couldn't work the job. And suddenly I went from again thinking I had a promising career to having no money in my bank account. Like you just go through this shit long enough to where you're just like not bothered by it anymore. And you just learn to roll with the punches and stop fighting life and trust the process and just do the best you can. And your stress tolerance just goes way the fuck up. And because of that, your results get better too. Because a lot of this shit is just self-imposed in your head. And you learn how to deal with the fact that it's self-imposed. You stop putting it on yourself because you're like, this is all just in my head. and you just focus on the moment and stop living in your inner world pretty much. And this allows you to just get way better results, handle things the way they need to be handled, and just move on with your life. But this is hopefully that story makes you realize, like, listen, I might be talking and like, I hope I don't sound like I'm bragging to you guys. I'm really not trying to brag. I'm trying to hopefully motivate you. But hopefully that story makes you realize, like, I was in a lot of you guys' situation, probably worse than a lot of you. And it's just like, you will get through it, but you got to keep fucking pushing forward. Seriously. Number 6, dating in your late 20s is way easier. If you did it right, you are the kind of guy women want by this point. You're in shape, you have a career, your mind is sharper, your stress tolerance is better, you are mature as a person. And so women start coming towards you rather than you constantly chasing and getting rejected. And this is something I've found. This is not, I'm not fucking Casanova or anything, but I have a dating life available to me when I want it. I can go on a dating app and get a bunch of girls that match with me, and I can go on dates. I can go out to the gym and girls give me looks. I can, basically every time, like if I go into like a new environment and I'm around it, like a social environment, within like a couple weeks, one of these girls is like chasing me like hard fucking core. And it's just because of who I've built myself into as a man at this point. And it just wasn't that way in my early 20s. My physique in my early 20s was still pretty good. And so that was enough to get me some attraction. But like other than that, like I really was struggling and my mind wasn't in the right place. And I would just crash out and be bothered by women all the fucking time. And now I'm not bothered by any of that shit. And so they're interested in me. And at the same time, because of maturity, you don't need female validation. So you don't bother with women who aren't interested in you to begin with. This is the other side of it. So like, not only are they coming to you, but you're not dealing with any women who aren't interested in you. So like, I haven't been flaked on for a date in years because I just won't talk to a woman who's not a hell yes for me. Whereas when you're in your early and mid 20s, you're like, you've got one girl that you've talked to for the first time in 6 months, and you're just doing anything you can to get on this date, and she's flaking on you, and she's really not that interested, and she's talking to Chad and just leaving you on red and all this shit. It's just like, I just don't deal with any of that anymore. I basically have become the Chad guy, right? Somebody's gonna be like, you're not a looks max 10. Like, that's not my fucking point. My point is like, I have made myself into a top level guy so I don't have to deal with any of this bullshit. I'm the guy that like she's leaving the other guys on red to talk to me for. And again, I don't say that to brag. I'm just saying, like, if you do the fucking work, this shit starts happening for you. And this is how it will go. Number 7, you become a rarity. So like, this is my physique. This is the average man at my age's physique. Again, not trying to brag. My point is like, if you just do the fucking work, by the time you hit your late 20s, your life is fucking fantastic. Like, you are just significantly ahead of everybody. The average man is making 40K per year. I'm making 6 figures, right? Like, it's just, this is the game, right? Your mindset's better. You've done the work on yourself. You're blowing everybody out. You're just a rarity. Like, I genuinely walk around and it's just, I don't see many guys who really have it together like me. I just genuinely, again, I'm really not trying to sound arrogant. I'm just trying to tell you guys facts about the situation. I'm trying to motivate you guys. Hopefully you see that like, this is what's possible for you if you just do the fucking work in your early 20s and mid 20s. Number 8, you finally have money to do cool shit. Right? Like, I remember being in my early to mid 20s and just all this shit you want to do, and like, you have like $2. Right? Like, I have a screenshot in my phone of my bank account at -$7 to my name at like 22 years old or some shit like that. I was just flat broke constantly. It's like, you have to like, it's like a big deal if you go out to like Buffalo Wild Wings, because it's like, that's all the money you've got, right? Like, you're just flat broke. But now at this point, it's like, here's some pictures. Like, I go on cool vacations. It's like, I'm in Arizona. We go rent dune buggies. It was like $1,500 for the deposit, and then it was like $300-400 to rent each dune buggy. We had two dune buggies. So I mean, realistically, yeah, I get the deposit back, but even to get the dune buggies, I needed $3,000 just to rent them. You know what I mean? And it's like, you got to have money for this kind of shit. But I was like, yeah, let's fucking do it. This is cool. The jet car thing, that was like $500 or something like that. Like, you got to like have money to do cool shit, but now I have it. And so now you get to go have fun with your life. But it takes a while. You got to get your career put together, and then life starts getting fun. Hopefully you see how, like, literally, if you're 23 years old and you're starting on your career, you're trying to put in this work and it feels like it's not working right now, just keep working. You will get somewhere where you get to do fun shit with your life. It happens. Don't fall for the psyop on the internet of thinking you have to do it right now. Right? Like, it used to be that it wasn't even possible to get rich in your 20s. This is like a new innovation, this idea of being rich in your 20s. So like, don't feel like you have to be rich in your 20s, and don't feel like you have to be rich in your early 20s for damn sure. Right? Like, I'm doing okay financially, but I'm not rich at this point. I'm doing way better than average, but I am not rich. Shit starts opening up for you though as you continue to level yourself up and continue to work on your career. You just get to go have fun with your life basically, and you have the money to do cool shit and cool experiences. Don't try and do it now when you have 20 bucks to your name. Just keep putting in the work. Someday you will get to do it and it won't sweat it, right? I went on this trip to Miami, the same one I did the jet car at. And I went on this one dinner to this restaurant called Joe's Stone Crab, and I think I spent like 300 bucks on dinner. And it's like, I don't do that every night, but I was just like, fuck yeah, like we're having a good time. And it didn't even dent my bank account. And I was just like, that would have broken me back in the day. Like, I remember not being able to pay my $120 a month credit card bill and having to ask my parents to cover it for me at like 22 years old. Now it's like 300 for dinner. I'm like, fuck yeah. And I don't even blink. It's just like this shit starts happening, guys. Trust the fucking process. You can do this kind of shit, but you got to put in the work. Money unlocks your personality. This is a really important one. Like, I always just felt like so limited by my lack of money. And what I meant by that was like, you can't really be yourself without money in this way, because like money allows you to buy the clothes that fit your personality. Money allows you to buy the car that fits your personality. Money allows you to do the cool shit that fits your personality. Now that I have money, it's like, cool, we're going to go get the grass-fed steak. We're going to go to the nice gym. We're going to do this shit. We're going to travel, right? Suddenly you have more of a personality once you have money. When you're 23 years old with no money, you've got like 2 workout shirts and a pair of fucking cargo shorts that your parents got you at like 18 that have fucking holes in them and shit. You've got like some basic ass car that's probably 15 years old. And like, this is your life, right? You don't have swag. You have no personality because you have no money. Money unlocks personality, right? It's like they say, like, money doesn't change you. It just makes you more of who you already were. It's like, yeah, that's basically what happened to me. Cause like, this is the shit I do right now. Like, I have the money to hire a boxing coach. It's like, that's my personality. Fitness, training, go fucking hard. I go to the nicest gym in my town. It's like 85 bucks a month. And I'm like, I used to couldn't have afforded that. Now I have an $85 a month gym pass. I go shoot guns with my friends. It's like 150 bucks for ammo and renting the lane and renting the gun. And it's just like, that's a day. Right? It's like, you get to do this shit because you have the money. And again, I don't go to the shooting range and spend 150 bucks a day. I'm not saying it's like that, but it's just like, you can go have fun with your life. I go out to the cigar lounge. I pay $25 for cigars. And it's just like, yeah, whatever. Who gives a fuck, right? At 23 years old, I just couldn't have done that, or I would have been sweating if I did it. You know what I mean? It's like, at this point, I'm not staying in some shitty hotel if I go on a vacation. You can have fun with your life because you have money, because you've built a career. Hopefully that motivates you. All of this was designed to motivate you as to what is possible if you do things right in your early to mid 20s, because most guys are just fucking wrecking their lives in their early to mid 20s, and so they never get to experience this. Instead of renting jet cars and having expensive dinners in their late 20s, they are in debt from student loans, making 40K per year, and they're fat. It's like, this is because they just crashed the fuck out. So hopefully you see the alternative. This is how this works. This is what can happen for you. And honestly, I hope I'm a more realistic like example for you guys, because I'm not trying to really flex to you guys that I'm like the GOAT. I'm not trying to pretend I'm fucking Andrew Tate, right? I'm trying to show you like, this is like literally, to me, you know, I do consider myself an intelligent guy for sure. And maybe I did have some genetic like things going my way. I do naturally have high testosterone and things like that. But a lot of this was really just like, I fucking grinded and I made a lot of mistakes and I didn't fucking quit. That's really it, guys. And like, I just saw the writing on the wall and I was like, I don't want to end up like that. I'm going to think for myself. I'm going to go a different route. There's no reason you guys can't end up like me or better than me. The next portion of this video will go over some of the things I did that allowed me to get here. The first one, I focused on physical excellence. These pictures right here are literally 10 years apart. The one on the left was me at like 17, 18 years old. The one on the right was me at 27 at the beginning of this year. Obviously, I'm in much better shape. I'm much bigger than I was then. I think I was probably like 170 pounds maybe back then. Now I'm like 200 pounds. So like, obviously I've gotten way bigger. My point is though, like, I've been on this shit for a while, right? Like, I have just like, fitness has been a part of my life. And maybe you didn't start at 17, 18 years old. Maybe you're starting out at 2022. That's fine. That's still plenty of time. My point is though, this has been a way of life for me. Right? I didn't get the fucking strength and size bump just because I started training last year. I have been devoted to physical excellence my entire adult life. Genuinely, like, it has been the one non-negotiable in my life is going to the gym. I have probably skipped like, I think I have, outside of being sick or intentional rest days from the gym, I don't think I have actually skipped a single day from the gym since I was 16 years old. dead ass. Like I have just been laser fucking consistent. We'll take that back. There was a phase where I was like 19 years old and I was getting drunk all the time. Take that part out. I have literally just been physically consistent the entire time. I've never missed a day for anything other than being sick or an intentional rest day. This has just been my life, guys. Physical excellence, devoted to it. The gym has been a daily part of my life since before I got my driver's license, literally. Physical excellence is why I am here today. It has taught me so much about everything in life. It taught me consistency. It taught me discipline. It's probably one of the reasons my testosterone is high. If I had trashed my fucking diet and not trained, I guarantee you my testosterone wouldn't be 1,000 NGL naturally. That's just how it is, right? I've been doing this for fucking ever. You know what I mean? But like, you got to understand, like, this is so fucking important. Like, you need to build your life on physical excellence. I tell guys, this is like, as a man in your 20s, it's not about being okay in the gym. It's not about 4 days a week. It's like, you should genuinely be jacked with a six pack, training like a fucking animal. I just think every guy should be doing it. There's no reason you can't do it. Everybody's got the time for it. I don't care if you're fucking working a lot. I work a lot and I still fucking do it. This is so important, and it just builds everything. It makes you more attractive. It gives you the mindset. It gives you the confidence, right? When my life was an absolute wreck in my early 20s and I'm driving a fucking 200,000 mile Toyota Camry, this busted up paint chips on it and all that kind of shit, and girls are cheating on me and I'm getting betrayed by my friends and I'm fucking crashing out, having to live with my parents and my career's falling apart. You know, the one thing I did have was I still kept showing up to the fucking gym, and that gave me something to hang my hat on, dead ass. Like in the middle of it all, I was like, I'm just going to keep doing this, and at least I've got this, right? And I'm telling you, like, it's like moves me a bit, genuinely, because I'm just like, this is so fucking important, and you guys need to take this seriously. And I'm so tired of seeing guys in their 20s out of shape. It's fucking embarrassing. Like, you need to take this fucking seriously, guys. That's why now I'm able to get the late 20s strength and muscle bump. If you're 25 years old, 26, and you're out of shape and you stay that way into your late 20s, you're not just going to get a strength and size bump because you've just wrecked yourself. I genuinely believe it's like you trained and then your testosterone, your growth hormone, all this shit just kind of like comes together so that in your late 20s, you just look like an athletic beast. But you have to do the work early and have the physique already, like the groundwork laid, so that this kind of thing can happen to you. Number two, I have a high tolerance for going my own way, and that is one of the big reasons I've made it where I am. Had I cared about what other people thought of me, I wouldn't have dropped out of college. I wouldn't have started and failed multiple businesses. I wouldn't have created content and been judged for it. I wouldn't have stayed single and focused on personal growth. I wouldn't have put myself in positions to be rejected. Guys, like my life, like all the good shit in my life is basically the fact that I didn't care what other people thought. Everybody else wanted to get drunk. It was like, I'm going to work out. I might still go get drunk, but I'm going to work out first. Right? I did that. It was like everybody wanted to smoke weed at 9 in the morning. It's like, you guys go ahead and smoke. I'm gonna work out. I'll come smoke with you later. So even when I was a crash out, I still fucking had enough fucking discipline and ability to think for myself to still do that, right? I was like, I don't want to lose this. This matters to me, right? You guys got to understand that when I was in college, everybody thought I was a retard for dropping out of college to go get my real estate license. Everybody was always making fun of me for making content that wasn't very good at 20, 21 years old. Everybody was always, making fun of me for businesses and things like that. Like, this is just this thing. And it's just, you have to not care. You have to not fucking care. You have to go your own way and develop a high tolerance for going your own way and thinking differently. You're not going to get killed for doing shit different, guys. Like, my whole life has been different. Maybe that's why I was able to do this naturally. Like, I was homeschooled for a large portion of my life. I'm fucking unvaccinated. I've had all this shit. Like, I've just done all this kind of shit that's just totally unnatural. I was vegetarian until I was 12 years old. Like, I've always just kind of viewed it as like doing shit different was fine. And so I guess that's allowed me to think outside the box all the time and just do different shit. But like, you can develop this now. Just because you were raised normal and did the normal shit doesn't mean you got to do it now. It's a fucking death trap. Do some different shit, guys. You got to learn to think outside the box. You got to have a high tolerance for going your own way. If you're worried about fitting in, you will never stand out. Just know that. Number 3, not quitting. This is so fucking important. Guys, I'll be honest, I have an extremely high tolerance for resiliency. I'm extremely resilient. I remember at 10 years old, all my friends got Nintendo Wiis for Christmas, and my parents said, if you want a Nintendo Wii, you need to save your money and then you can buy one yourself. And I was getting paid a $2 a week allowance at that time. So I didn't spend any money, and for 2 years I saved up my $2 a year allowance and bought a Nintendo Wii. right? Like this is, again, this is why I'm able to be consistent with shit now. Like I've just had this shit wired into me, and like I've anchored myself in these kinds of stories of like, yeah, I did that thing. And that's why I'm consistent in the gym. That's why I'm consistent when it comes to businesses, even if they're failing and shit like that. I just stay fucking consistent. I have 1,000 YouTube videos damn near on this channel. I've created hundreds of pieces of short form content. I just don't fucking quit. And you got to fucking develop that ability. You cannot quit. This picture right here was me in college trying to start a social media marketing agency. It was like the first, it was actually the second business. I started this like lawn care business trying to pay for some college stuff when I was like 18 years old, but this was like 20 years old. And this was my second attempt at a business. It was like my first real official attempt at a business. And it was a social media marketing agency. And this was the picture that I had for like the profile picture or whatever for the business. It was like this picture. I thought I looked professional in my little Ralph Lauren fucking collared shirt or whatever. I thought I looked real professional. I started this business. I went around. I was in Wilmington, North Carolina at the time. I was going around to all these local businesses. Again, talk about not giving a fuck and having that tolerance for rejection. I was walking in at 20 years old. I was walking at 20 years old into all these different businesses. I didn't fucking know anything about social media, truthfully. And I'm walking into these businesses talking about how I'm going to do social media marketing for them just because that's the guy who sold me the course and that's what he told me to do. So I'm going in all these businesses. I went to like 40, 50 businesses, sent out a bunch of emails, got rejected every single fucking time. That was my first run at business. But you know what? I didn't quit. I didn't go, I guess I should just go get my 4-year degree and be an HR manager or some bullshit like that. Like everybody fucking quits so fucking fast. This right here, a couple years later, this is post that story of me fucking, quitting the pressure washing job, but I'm still living with my parents. I'm still flat broke. I still feel like a failure. I'm still fucking bugged by this girl who cheated on me and all this stuff. This video right here, we're going to play a little bit of it. This is from a program I started called Training Camp, which was like my fourth business attempt or something like that. It was like a $10 a month fitness subscription that I started. So let's play some of it. Hey, what's going on? If you're watching this, that means you're on the Training Camp page, and I wanted to take a quick moment to tell you about Training Camp. Training Camp is something I'm really passionate and excited to be bringing to you. What makes Training Camp different than any other fitness coaching program is that Training Camp takes in the deeper issues involved when it comes to fitness. You see, if you're like me, when you started going to the gym, maybe you had some sort of surface level motivation. Like for me, it was I wanted to be more attractive to girls. But then once you get started with things, you realize you're dealing with deeper issues, things like your... So that right there was the landing page video. So like that video I had positioned so that like if you signed up for the group, that was like the video that was going to play for you. I believe that was it. It was either that or this video was going to go on the landing page. I can't remember at this point. But either way, like that was me. And like also you'll notice I've obviously gotten much better at communicating on camera. I'm not like stumbling over my words and shit like that. But again, I did this thing. And, again, I'm like 22, 23 years old when I make this video. And again, what do you know? Nobody fucking signs up. Another epic failure. I spent like 60, not even 60, like literally probably like 120, 150 hours of work trying to get all this shit set up. I went and recorded video trainings of like every single workout that was going to be in my group coaching program. I launched the program. Nobody fucking signs up. And it's just like, of course, that's how it goes. Like, I mean, it makes sense now that I look back on it, but it's just like you just fucking fail a lot, guys. Seriously. Shout out to my mom for holding the camera, by the way, during this video, right? Like this is where I was at, guys. Like I'm like living with my parents. I'm like, Mom, will you hold the camera for me so I can make this little training video for the guys inside of my training camp program? And I launched the program and nobody fucking signs up. And it's like, damn, I got no fucking money off this shit again. And it was just like that over and over and over again, guys. And now it's like I've got this shit figured out a little bit so that I don't go flat broke. And it's like, you guys, like, it just blows me away how easily people fucking quit. And it's just like, you're not going to make it like that. I have failed at least 10 to 15 businesses that I've tried to launch. Like different ideas, different fitness products, different, like ebooks. I made an ebook and put it on Amazon and it sold no books. Like I've done all this shit, guys. And it's just, it fails and fails and fails and fails and fails. And it's just because you don't know what the fuck you're doing. But if you quit, you're never going to figure it out, right? You got to just keep going. Most of you guys are scared to fail once. You're not going to make it. Like, this shit disgusts me, man. Like, all these people who are just, like, thinking about what business they want to start. It's like, start a fucking business because it's going to fail anyways. The point is you're going to figure this shit out by failing, right? And it's just like, you guys wallowing around trying to think about what business do I want to start for like 2 fucking years. And it's like, your life's just passing you by. You still haven't figured anything out. You're just afraid to fail. Get it over with. Seriously, you will get there faster by just failing. But then by trying to read every fucking book or pondering what the right business opportunity is, the right business opportunity is just you being good enough to make a business work. Once you're good enough to make a business work, then basically every business opportunity is a good business opportunity. And none of the business opportunities are good if you can't make it work. You are the bottleneck in your business. That's the game, right? There's no magic business, right? If I gave you fucking AI, you wouldn't even know how to code the damn AI. And so you couldn't have made ChatGPT, right? You couldn't have made Google. You wouldn't have made Tesla. You couldn't have made the iPhone. You don't know how to do anything, right? You got to go figure this shit out and fail. Sitting around like I'm waiting on this fucking opportunity. You don't even understand crypto. You're not going to catch the fucking crypto pump. You don't even understand that. So like, what, you guys have got to just go fail at shit. Fail, 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 fail. And then eventually you will succeed. You got to do this. I'm telling you, you just cannot quit and you got to keep failing. You just got to keep moving forward and not lose your optimism. That's the other part of this, is don't lose your optimism. I did get cynical for a bit with this shit. I kept going, but I was cynical, and that just makes it way worse. Keep the optimism. Keep reminding yourself when it doesn't work out, nobody's out to get you. The system is not corrupt. The world doesn't suck. It's just that you aren't very good at this yet, and just get better. White belt mentality. It takes 15 years to get a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. You're not going to be good at this overnight. Next thing, cutting out the bullshit was something that I did. I cut out all the pot smokers and drinkers at 21. Part of it was that I had the big falling out with a lot of them. The rest of it, I just stopped talking to them. Cut all those people out at 21. I have drank a max of 10 times in the last 6 years. I haven't drank since, I had like a drink at that restaurant I was telling you about in Miami. But other than that, I don't think I've had a drink since like 2023 at this point. Like, I don't drink, right? Like, I cut all the bullshit out. I haven't played video games since 2020, right? Like, all these, it's just like, this shit blows me away that like guys, like, they won't cut this shit out. You have to cut it out. Like, I don't understand hanging on to this shit, guys. If you want to be the man, you got to stop with all this boyish shit, right? Like, everybody wants to be the man. Everybody wants to be the man, but then they're playing fucking video games and they're acting like fucking children and they want to hang out with their shithead friends. And like, this shit drives me fucking insane when I hear this shit from guys. Like, it's just this thing where like, every guy is like, I just don't fucking understand why this is so damn hard for you. Cut all the shit out. Do you want this life or do you want this one over here? That's really the choice, right? If you would rather get drunk and smoke weed and hang out with your shithead friends, by all means do it. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. If that's what you want to do, do it. But just stop telling me you want this other thing, but then you want all this other shit too. It's just fucking stupid, guys. Number 5, stay single and boring. This is what I did. Seriously, this picture right here was me at like 24 years old. I had to get a job working at a UPS store, and I was working 10-hour shifts at this UPS store. And so my daily routine was I would wake up at 5 a.m. and train in the gym. Then I would go work my shift. Then I would come home and work on my YouTube channel and try to figure out how to get out of my situation. I was trying to learn content and figure out how to get a business to work and all this kind of stuff. And that was my situation. And during this time, I hung out with friends max twice for 18 months. I worked that job for 18 months. I hung out with people twice during that time. I didn't have a girl. I didn't go on dates. I didn't do anything. I just literally just did what I just said right there. I fucking worked out. And then I was working on my business, and then I was working my job. And if I had a day off, I basically just kept working on content and business stuff. And that was my life, guys. And I did get a lot better from that. I read books. I just improved myself because I was like, my shit sucks. Guys are like talking to me sometimes. They're like their life fucking sucks. And it's like they're trying to find shit to fill their free time with. And I'm like, why don't you fill your free time with not having a shitty life? How about we do that? How about you just like take all that free time and, instead of trying to find some other shit to do, why don't you just spend more time on the thing that's going to get you out of your situation, right? Like, there's no rule that says you can only spend an hour a day on it. Spend all your fucking time on it. Figure this shit out, guys. You guys do not understand. If you're in your early to mid 20s, really if you're anywhere, truthfully, because most people haven't figured this out, but if you're in your early to mid 20s, the gap between where you are and where you need to go is so big that you cannot comprehend it. Like, the shit you don't understand, like your world is so small that you don't even realize how ignorant you are. Like, I am starting to figure this out to the point where I feel like I genuinely only understand like 3 things at this point. I'm like, I kind of understand weightlifting. I kind of understand content. That's kind of it. I kind of understand meditation and like some spirituality kind of shit. That's about as much as I feel confident that I'm like, I know some stuff about this, right? Like, I kind of know it. And it's just like the amount of shit I need to know, like what is this idea? Like, you've got free time. It's like you have no free time. Spend all your time figuring shit out. Cause you need to just have that fucking scientific, like inquisitive mindset about life. Why do you think you know everything? You don't, because that's essentially the point. If you're like, I have nothing to do, essentially what you're saying is, I know everything that I need to know, and therefore I can just sit here and do nothing, or I need to find something fun to do. It's like you know nothing. You have no clue how to do anything. Seriously, if you did, you would be rich as fuck and successful. If you're not that, then believe me, you don't know anything and you need to get down to fucking business and learn some shit, okay? You guys are cooked if you can't handle this. I'm gonna tell you this straight up. I'm getting into the harsh shit here because I just this blows me away. Just like guys are just absolutely cooked if they cannot handle what I just talked about with that 18-month stint. It's like this is the price that has to be paid. You have to fucking eat shit. You have to go through the bullshit. You have to deal with this. And everybody just wants the fucking way out of it. They don't want to stay single and boring. They want to hang out with their shithead friends. They want to keep drinking. They want to keep goofing off. They want to play video games some. They want to do all this shit. And I'm like, you are absolutely cooked if that's how you're thinking. You have no shot. Because, like, listen, like I said, I don't consider myself special. Like, I don't view myself as above you, but I'm definitely not below you. I'm definitely not dumber than you. Okay? And so if I had to do all this shit to get where I got, what makes you think you can get away with not doing it? You think you're smarter than me? You think you're tougher than me? I promise you, you're not. Seriously, guys, like this just fucking boggles the mind how, like, I will tell you and other people, like, I'm not the only one. Everybody has basically the same story of eating dog shit for a long time. And then you guys come on here. And again, I'm not trying to attack you. I'm trying to give you the tough love here, but like really, like you come on here and just think it doesn't have to be that way for you. What are you, fucking Einstein and Jesus Christ combined or some shit? You can just walk on water. You're just gonna skip all the hard shit. It's like you sound retarded. Get down to fucking business, man. Like seriously, nothing frustrates me more with some of you guys than watching you squander the life you could have because you want a stupid girlfriend right now, or you want to hang out with friends who have nothing going on. It's like you won't stay single and boring. You won't just do this shit. And it's just like, oh, I just want to have these friends. It's like, who are these people? It's like, I don't understand this. Again, maybe this was because I was homeschooled, but like, why does everybody take friendship so seriously? Like, you had a best friend in elementary school, and 99% of you probably don't talk to that guy anymore. You had a best friend in high school, and probably, depending on how old you are, if you're 21, maybe you still talk to the guy. But, if you're 28 years old, like probably 50% of you don't talk to that guy. It's like this friendship thing makes no sense. You guys act like these friends are just like fucking blood, fucking tight as shit, guys. This is the other catch about this is like, if you have a real friend, you don't actually have to spend that much time with them. That's what I found. My closest friends are people I don't actually see them that much. I have one friend in my hometown that I see, maybe once every couple months or so, and it's like we never missed a beat. It's like we never skipped a beat. We see each other, it's like back like fucking normal. It's just like that's how it is because we're just on that same wavelength. It's like that's a real friendship. That's somebody you're actually meant to be friends with. Somebody where you just pick right up where you left off. And it's like every time I see this guy too, it's like we'll be talking and it's like the same shit that he's dealing with in his life, I'm dealing with in my life, even though we haven't talked. It's like the same realizations he's having, the same shit he's figuring out is the same shit I'm figuring out. And it's like, that's so fucking weird. We haven't talked in 2 months. I'm telling you, it's like, that's what it's like. My friend Kenny that I've talked about on here, I met Kenny when I went to Houston. And then when I moved back from Houston and he moved to Arizona, like there was a period where we didn't talk very much. And then I just hit him up and we started talking again. And it was like, what do you know? We're like basically on the same fucking page. Right. And it's like, I see, like I talk to him on a regular basis, but we live on opposite sides of the fucking country. I see him like 3 or 4 times a year. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like nothing fucking changes, right? It's just that's what a real friendship is like. And you guys are all just like needing friends and shit. I'm like, if you can't leave your friend group for 6 months and come back like nothing happened, then they aren't real friends. They are friends of the moment. They are friends based on convenience because you guys have commonalities based on certain things you're doing. It's like work friends, but then once you leave the job, you're not friends with those people anymore. And you guys are acting like all these people are just like meant to be in your fucking life forever. It just makes no sense. And you're squandering opportunities in your life to hang on to these fucking precious relationships that don't mean shit. Seriously, it just boggles the mind. And it's like, I'll throw opportunities at guys sometimes and they won't give up friends for opportunities. I'm like, you're not going to make it like this. Seriously, you're not going to make it because you want to keep some fucking 5 out of 10 friendships going. It's just like, you're fucking stupid for this shit, man. Pay the price or we are not the same. Seriously, like, this is where I just got to I just got to sun you guys a little bit, not to brag, but just to fucking like let you know, like, you are not going to be on this level if you don't pay the price. Seriously. And there are levels to this shit, right? You know, if I go meet fucking Alex Hormozy, I'm not on Alex Hormozy's level, right? He's figured some shit out. He's ahead of me in the game, right? It would be stupid for me to act like I was on his level. I have to pay the price to get to where Alex Hormozy's at, or I have to choose a different path for my life, essentially. But my point with this is, like, everybody wants to be like on this level. They want to be the fucking man. They want all this shit, and they just won't pay the fucking price. And it's just like, yeah, well, you're not this guy. And like, there's always going to be a disconnect, and everybody's going to read it. This right here, this is the Navy SEALs. When the Navy SEALs go through Hell Week, they trade in their white shirt and they get this brown shirt right here. Basically, the brown shirt is a distinction that basically says you went through Hell Week and you made it through. And I've read books from Navy SEALs talking about how once you go through Hell Week, you are a different person. And the people you went through that with, or the people who have done it before you, there's a certain camaraderie there, because you understand you're all on a certain level. You all went through this extremely difficult challenge and you all made it through. You guys want your brown shirt without your Hell Week. A lot of you guys are like that. You want to have the brown shirt, but you just won't go through fucking Hell Week. And Hell Week in real life is like 5 years. It's fucking rough, right? But like, this is the game. You gotta fucking do this shit, guys. And everybody wants the brown shirt. Nobody wants the Hell Week. Not everyone's path is the same, but most of you guys aren't gonna make it because you want your brown shirt without going through your Hell Week to get it, right? Like, not everybody's story is gonna be the same as mine, right? I'm not saying you have to get, it's not the specifics. It is the fact that all of us have a giant pile of shit in our life that we have to eat. And you have to eat that pile of shit to get to the other side of it. It's going to look different for everybody, but it's like the brown shirt in real life is essentially, I ate the pile of shit. And like, you could just tell the people who didn't eat the pile of shit. And there's just a fucking gap there. There's just like, they just didn't do it. And it manifests in all different ways. It doesn't mean you're a business owner. There are 9-to-5 people who climbed the corporate ladder or achieved certain goals and picked up pieces of their life and made shit work. And those people also have gotten a brown shirt. Like, this is the game, right? And then you see people who like had everything handed to them by their parents, and you can just tell they don't have their brown shirt. Everything was fucking easy for them. They didn't have the pile of shit to eat. And then there's you guys out there who are trying to avoid it, and you don't have your brown shirt yet. You've got to get the fucking brown shirt. And the way you get the brown shirt is you do whatever is necessary. You move across the country. You fucking train like an animal. You figure out how to make the business work. You go get rejected. You do all this shit. You have to do whatever it takes to get the brown shirt. And this is how you become the man you want to be. This is how you get what you want. And if you don't do this, then you will not get that peak in your late 20s. You're just going to feel like you're missing something. Your life's not going to suck, but you will feel like you're missing something. You'll probably have some cushy $50K per year job in a fucking company that you don't like, and that'll be your life. And deep down, you'll know that you didn't eat the pile of shit. And every time you see guys like me who are fucking crushing it and going after shit, you're just going to know there's a gap. And the gap is the giant pile of shit that I ate and people like me ate that you didn't eat. And that's just really how it is. Number 6, I disciplined my mind. This might be the most important thing I did. Meditation plus positive self-talk plus learning about identity. Identity being the self-image that you have. When I understood this stuff, changed my life. It basically made me realize that like my whole life was a byproduct of my identity and how I was thinking. And so I really just have been devoted for my 20s to getting my mind right. I have transformed my self-image. I went from viewing myself as the guy whose shit never works out for him to viewing myself as the guy who's great and can accomplish shit in his life. I went from, being a guy who felt like he wasn't attractive to women, to now feels like he's worthy of having attractive women in my life. I'm the kind of guy who expects success. I expect to be the man. I expect to be in that position. I expect to be the leader. That's how I carry myself. And that shows in the way I'm communicating here. No hesitancy as I speak, right? I expect these things to work, right? I expect success. And this is because I changed my self-image. I started focusing again. I focused on meditation. This is something I was a little bit inconsistent with in my 20s, but it's something I've become extremely focused on in my late 20s here. And my life just gets better and better the more I focus on it. Meditation, positive self-talk, meaning you need to not bullshit yourself, but you kind of bullshit yourself. You need to get to this point where Like, you just don't allow yourself to talk bad about yourself. Stop with the self-deprecating humor. Stop with the whole, like, shit doesn't work out for me kind of talk. Stop with all that crap. Stop with the, like, limiting your potential. Stop with all of that shit. You need to focus on meditation, which is going to help you get present. It's going to help you with your maturity. It's going to help you with your stress tolerance. It's going to help you with managing your emotions. It's going to help you detach from your thinking so you can be aware of how you're thinking about yourself, and then you can change it and you can start talking positively about yourself. And then you start changing your self-image, and then your results will start changing naturally as a result of this. Like, I genuinely just view myself at this point. I have enough evidence and enough self-talk to when shit goes bad, I'm just like, I'm just the guy who fucking handles this. Like, when I was living in Houston, you guys have heard me tell the story, and I ended up going homeless and having to live in my friend's garage, I genuinely thrived in that situation. And the reason I thrived in that situation was because my mindset, because I got in it and I was like, fuck it. Like, I'm going to get myself out of this. I'm the guy who succeeds in this moment. Like, a lot of people in that moment, they have the self-image that makes them crack. They're like, this is the period where I just realized I wasn't meant to be successful, and I go home to my mommy. Me in that situation, I was like, this is the moment when I rise up and just prove that I'm that fucking guy. And so that's what I did. It's all self-image. How are you talking about yourself, right? Like, situations where shit goes bad is when this is so important. Like, if your money's stressful or the girl's like putting you in an insecure position or something, it's like, how do you view yourself? Do you view yourself as the guy who gets cucked out by the girl, or do you view yourself as the fucking man? Right? You got to change your self-image. Devote yourself to focusing on this. You need to have extraordinary confidence in yourself, and that comes from self-image. You need to be talking about yourself positively. Meditation so you can control your thoughts and control your emotions better. This is a massively important thing. I rebuilt my mind over my 20s to the point where I believe I'm capable of anything, and I see myself as the person who will be wildly successful. Like, I just am dead set on that. Like, I just know I'm going to be wildly successful. Now, listen, I'm not perfect. I made a lot of mistakes, but these are some of the things I did right. And hopefully the fact that I fucked up too makes you realize you can change your life like I did, guys. Like, I look back and I'm like, if I just hadn't fucked a lot of shit up, I would be where I'm at now at 25. And right now, I'd probably be a multimillionaire. You know what I mean? And I'd just be doing way better, but I just fucked a lot of shit up, right? So hopefully that motivates you to realize, like, again, I'm a pretty normal guy who just decided he wanted more out of his life. There's no reason you can't do this shit and you can't have an extraordinary life. Your late 20s will be exceptional if you just do the fucking work right now. Guys, if you want to join a group of men who are focused on improving themselves and living extraordinary top level lives, and you want coaching from me, consider joining the Life Maxed group. Inside of it, I've got courses teaching everything from business to fitness. You get coaching personally from me and accountability. We do live weekly calls. If you're interested in joining the group, click the link in the description box below. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. I'll talk to you later.